you're not doing a lot to dispel that myth about cops and donuts, but that's okay. This is a scientific test.
You know, I should have said cops no whiskey. This would have been a lot more fun.
Welcome to CelinaRadio.com. Recorded right here in Celina, Texas, a quiet little dusty, sleepy town that has absolutely nothing going on. Guys, welcome back to CelinaRadio.com. I'm Ron Lyons, and we've got a very awesome show for you today. We've got the Chief of Police, John Cullison, and the Celina Police Department Public Information Officer, Chase Guidera, on today. Now, these two guys, when you put them together in an interview and then give them some sort of a fun challenge, you start to see why Celina is so amazing. It's because of people like this, in positions like this, that love the community, love the people they serve, and it just comes out. You just can't miss it. It's amazing. Now, about that challenge, yeah. Let's just say it has to do with donuts. And I'm just going to let your mind kind of run with that one a little bit. But it's fantastic, and guess what? There's a video. You're going to want to see that and find out just exactly how much fun we had with donuts and cops. And remember, this Friday, the video drops of the challenge between Mayor Sean Terry and Police Chief John Cullison. That's right. Remember, we did an indoor fishing challenge to raise awareness for Carla Vargas donkey rescue over by Brookshires. So you get to watch the video of the challenge. Then you get to see the loser of the challenge hand deliver lunch from Papagayos to the winner of the challenge. And then you also get to see the winner of the challenge naming a donkey out at Carla Vargas' place after himself. Yeah, we're going to have a donkey either named Chief or Mayor or maybe John or Sean or something like that. Either way, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. You're not going to want to miss that. So, guys, Splash and Blast was this last weekend. It was a fantastic time. Major turnout out there, and a lot of you came by the booth, said hello, and we recorded a little bit of our conversations with you. We're going to have some of those little snippets of those conversations on the show today, too. So if you stopped by, thank you for doing that. If you didn't go to Splash and Blast, you're not going to want to miss it next year. But guys, right now, why don't you sit back and relax, and let's dive deep into this interview with John Cullison and Chase Guidera. So guys, I am here today with Chief John Cullison and Chaz. I'm just kidding. It's not Chaz. I'm here with the Public Information Officer for the state of Celina, and his last name is Guidera. And it's very, very, very hard for me to pronounce. So I'm just going to call him any different name I want to during the entire podcast. Chief, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Very, very good. And how are we doing, Chuck?
We are doing awesome. Thank you.
Actually, guys, thank you so very much for doing this. It's a great day in Celina, Texas, when the Chief of Police and the Public Information Officer are willing to sit down with you and talk about everything going on. So it's obviously a huge state of growth that the city of Celina is in right now. So, Chief, how long have you been running the police department now?
Yeah, so I've been here since last May, so I just celebrated my first year, and it's been an exciting opportunity so far.
So you actually live in Celina, and you're getting to see all of this craziness go on right now. Tell me, what from a law enforcement perspective, what does that look like to you?
Yeah, kind of going back to what you just mentioned about living here, that was an important thing to me. I felt like as police chief, I not only wanted to serve the community, but also wanted to live here. And fortunately that happened, and it's a great place, no regrets. This is where it's happening. So to your question, yeah, the growth is incredible. What's nice about it, I think we're doing a good job of doing the right growth patterns. I think we're in one of those incredible markets where this place is the place to be. And even first couple of times I came here and they talk about the future and they say, hey, this is the next Frisco, the next Plano. At first you're sort of like, okay, that's an interesting thought. But once you're in the game and you're here, you're like, it's really happening. And I think it's a good thing. I think I do understand some of our long-term residents, they're a little hesitant. But what's important to us as a police department and as a city is to make sure that we maintain our downtown heritage. We recognize and respect the people that have been here for generations in some cases, and really make them a part of the process. And I think as a police chief, I can do that.
And Officer Guidera, how is it? So modern policing, now we actually have a PIO, and tell everybody what PIO actually stands for.
Public Information Officer.
Public Information Officer. So in my old days of law enforcement, we didn't have somebody like that. Somebody would just, a captain or lieutenant would point somebody out and say, hey, go talk to the press. And you just kind of hoped you did a good job. So what is it like now being a public information officer for the city of Celina? Like, what kind of things do you do? You do press releases, you do social media. What kind of things do you do?
All of the above. A lot of it is social media related. Trying to get the information out to the Celina community.
And do you have anything to do with, like, say, the website or any of those things like that? Is that kind of all within your purview?
Yes, with direction from the chief, yes, it is.
Everything is with direction from the chief.
Good job, Chase.
Yeah, that's right. He's nodding his head yes right now. So, Charles, you did good. That was awesome. So, yes, I think that right now with Celina doing what it's doing, there's been quite the evolution from the 90s when I was here, early 90s, all the way up to now. I can't believe that many years have passed, but give me an idea of when you first started considering this. You were in law enforcement in a different city. Give us a little bit of your background in law enforcement.
Yeah, so I went to work for the Irving Police Department back in 1995, and so you can imagine, even it's very interesting. And when people either externally or internally look at policing, they think it's this monolithic, slow-moving institution, and even I thought that as a new police officer, but it's quite the opposite. It's always changing. And you can imagine even the mid-90s, you already see some evolution. We've talked about, for example, even just going from a wheel gun to a semi-automatic, how we talk to people, technology, all these things have been in place. And I tell you what, it's an exciting time to be in law enforcement, but also it's challenging. And you touched on even the PIO. Who would have thought that we had a staff that addresses the public via, different platforms such as Facebook and our web page. But you know what? It has challenges, but it's also a lot of opportunities. Because in the past, you couldn't always get your message out. The only message you had was because interaction with each officer on a call. Now we can push things out, and a lot of them are really good messages to help people out. For example, just last week or this week, we sent out, about being careful at intersections. We sent out about staying hydrated. So we're running the gamut. And you know what? We have a good following. I think you'll see, if you look at our numbers, it continually increases the engagement we have, and that's a fantastic opportunity. By the same token, we all know you can jump on social media, and, I can be attacked, the city can be attacked, and in this modern environment, we address those concerns. You can't ignore them.
Right. So one of the things that came out, I guess it just kind of barely started getting popular back in my time, was called community policing. So it was somewhat foreign to us at the time, and you had to make so many citizen contacts, and you had to log in or log out, I guess, at different businesses and things like that. Is community policing, for lack of a better term, is that still alive and living in law enforcement today? You bet it is. And I think if you're any police chief or any organization in law enforcement, you got to recognize the value of community engagement, but also law and order. And now you see in some organizations, they go too far one way or another. I think you have to have that balance, but the community engagement has to be real, has to be legitimate. We have the programs. Chase runs a lot of those programs. But the way I explain to each officer, it's one contact at a time. Every time we go out and make a contact, whether your car gets broken into or you just have a question about directions, that's community engagement. We have to put those barriers down sometimes where I'm not just talking to a police officer, I'm talking to a human being. And so that is important. That's what we do. Yeah. So like I said, everything has evolved quite a bit. And one thing that is going on in law enforcement right now that's really, really hard for me to get my head wrapped around is the fact that now You can have tattoos a lot of times in certain agencies. They're showing that was a big no-no. They had to be hidden at all times. So that was one thing. Having a facial hair, a beard, having maybe a little longer hair, sometimes even piercings and stuff. So you've been in law enforcement long enough. So how do you feel about that evolution on that particular topic?
Yeah, and like everyone else, we get comfort in knowing what we consistently do. And so even in my early days, it was a Class A uniform every day. You wore all your ribbons. You had long sleeves in many cases. And, everything was perfectly shined, and there definitely was no tattoos. And clearly no one had facial hair except for the big mustache, from the 80s.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, you have to open up to that, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. Number one, when we recruit from society. And in society, those things are acceptable, the tattoos, the beards. Yes, it's a change, but I think a very valid point was made by a police chief up in Illinois. He made the observation, he said, when you go about beards, he said, when you go to see a doctor or you work with an attorney, someone that's in a professional organization, they have beards. Does that mean they're any less professional? And so you translate that into police work, you're like, that's pretty profound. But nonetheless, the tattoos, those were some. I wrote the policy in my previous organization. We were very open to that, and you know what? We rolled it out, and not one word of negativity did we get from the residents, citizens, visitors. And so that kind of illustrates it doesn't change. If I treat you fairly, if I treat you professionally, I don't think they really care if I have tattoos and if I have a beard.
What else have you seen change in law enforcement from your early days at Irving PD in the 90s to now? What else has changed?
10 codes. We're walking away from 10 codes and just plain English.
10-4. I got that.
Copy that. Yes.
So is it just straight to plain talk now? Just say it, whatever it is, say it. And really, how much stuff goes out over the computer, the MDCs, versus you don't really have to give details like you used to. 10 codes were meant to help with people who had scanners and not getting too involved in whatever law enforcement was trying to handle. But I don't know that it's even necessary really to have the 10 codes anymore.
And one reason too is because if I work with any agency, we talk the same language, but also most channels are encrypted now. And it's just for officer safety. We in a lot of organizations, they put their calls, we let people know what's going on because they still need to know. But there's different avenues than just listen to our calls on the radio. Another thing that's changed too, we've seen an increased number of females in law enforcement. Even when I came on, and you as well, there was a little bit of hesitancy to accept that.
Right. Now,
I never hear a peep from people. It's just part of the norm. And actually, we as police officers are a lot better when you off as a profession, because having females and males working together, it's a great balance. A lot of female officers have great strengths that we may not have, and vice versa. And I'm telling you, it just gives us different perspectives, and also we're on better behavior. True.
You're by default, you're going to make yourself a better person in those circumstances.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we're being real and being honest, that's it's just the way it is. And law enforcement requires a lot of being real and a lot of being honest and stuff. So we were talking earlier about kind of where Celina's headed and all that as far as growth, but the agency, it sounds like you guys are getting a new police department, new building, maybe things like that. So tell me a little bit about the future for Celina PD.
Yeah, that's an exciting part of what I'm doing right now. We're working with architects. We're looking to break ground this fall. This is going to be a fantastic facility, and it's for the right reasons. Number one, we should have a professional building that we can operate out of, because also the way I see it, our police building is our citizens building. And as a matter of fact, the way we're creating the building is where it's a very open, it's a very comfortable feel. We didn't want it to be that municipal barrier. Yes, we have to have safety features, but they're very subtle. But when people walk in our police department, I want them to feel comfortable. And then more importantly, I want my employees, because they're there 8, 12, 16 hours a day, they need to function in an environment where they feel comfortable. When we talk about officer wellness, a lot of that has to do with the environment you work in. So we're going to have a large area where you can make your dinner, you can take a break. There's going to be a courtyard, and it's going to be kind of that soft feeling. You can relax, because we in this business sometimes go to some very difficult calls, and we need that quiet time sometimes. We need that solitude, and we're going to have that place in our building. But also, even when you come here, whether you're a victim or whether you're a suspect, it's a professional organization. We operate just fine with what we have because we make do. But we're growing and we're outgrowing what we have. That's why we have a trailer next door. And, our guys don't complain about that. That's what's fantastic, too. They're very resilient. On the other hand, this police building is going to be built for the future, but also we're going to build a couple of substations in the city because we're 80 square miles. We'll be around 380,000 people. I like being close to the community. If I have one central station, then citizens are a little separated from the police. If I put a station in the northwest, northeast, then if you have a concern or we have a community event, you're right around the corner. It's that safety feature too, because people feel comfortable being close to a police station. So we're excited about the new building.
Chief Cullison, thank you for doing this. And we're going to move on with Chase, and we're going to do a little second challenge. You've got to get out of here. He's going to step in and he's going to have a little fun. And so we're going to have a couple videos up and guys, it's just been fantastic. So am I going to be able to make it out of here without getting arrested today after this?
We're going to check on that.
So it was at this moment that I was wrapping up the interview. Chief Cullison had to leave. Chase Guidera, the public information officer, was about to take over and do the little challenge I had for them. But something happened. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. And I'm going to sound really surprised on this part because I was. Now, as many of you know, I started my law enforcement career in 1993 right here in Celina, Texas. And I have always had a very strong connection to the city and to the police department. It's kind of where I grew up. It's where I learned so much. So when Chief Cullison surprised me like this, I was literally just floored. So much respect to this chief of police and to the Celina Police Department. Now I'm going to let you hear that right now.
I'd like to leave you, obviously our listening audience can't see it, but I'm going to leave you with the challenge coin from the Celina Police Department. I know we used to be a part of this organization, and challenge coins are huge in the military and police world and the fire world. And definitely having you be a part of this is fantastic. We just want to leave you with our token of our appreciation.
Thank you so very much. I steal my heart still with my first job in law enforcement, which was Celina PD. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
And so the chief presented me with a challenge coin from Celina PD. And you just have to understand, in the law enforcement world, in the fire world, in the military, it's a huge deal. Again, I just can't express enough gratitude for this chief and what Celina Police Department has become. So thank you again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a picture of this on CelinaRadio.com. It's one of my treasures. It's something that I will always just be so thankful for. So guys, enough of the emotional stuff. That's not really where I intended to take all of this, but when you've been in the brotherhood, when you've been in the family of law enforcement, it literally means everything. So I'm going to fast forward just a little bit. What we did next is take Chase Guidera. He's the public information officer, and we literally blindfolded him and put about a dozen donuts in front of him and had him actually go through those and see if he could tell us what each kind was. So we're testing the theory that cops and donuts are kind of synonymous. And let me just tell you this. When I was a cop, that's the stuff that you heard all the time, and you learn to kind of take it in stride. You get called lots of names. You get disrespected many times. It's a very tough and thankless job many times. Now, the good news is that people like Chase Guidera and Chief Cullison and many of the officers that we have at Celina have worked so hard to change that image and to let people know that, hey, you know what? We're human beings. We have hearts of service. We are servants, and I love it. Now, if you can't see through Chase Guidera setting down and doing a donut challenge with us. As an example of that, then you're not looking. So here we go with Chase Guidera and his donut challenge.
I was sitting here with Chase. Chase is going to test that theory that cops eat donuts and they know all about them, and they're kind of cop experts. Okay, so you're going to sample one. You'll be able to take a bite of one and then tell me to the best of your ability what kind it is. So are you game for that?
All right, let's do this.
All right, I want to see what kind of donut specialist Chase is. Okay, so I have to ask you before we do this, are you a fan of donuts?
Yes, but I try to stay away from them.
We've got a blindfold for you here somewhere. Do you have that blindfold?
Got it.
Okay, let's see if we can put that on. You never knew your law enforcement career would bring you to this moment, did you?
No.
So, be honest with me. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm not afraid of the dark, and I'm not claustrophobic, so I'm okay right now.
And you're not afraid of donuts?
No, I'm not afraid of the donuts.
Okay, all right. Now, I'm going to help you. You saw me clean my hands, so I'm going to help you. And you can't see anything, is that correct?
No.
Okay, all right. So, are you ready
Yeah.
for donut number one?
Don't hold my hand out or something?
Yeah, you can hold your hand out, and I'm going to just lightly set it in your hand. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, that is your first donut. So go ahead and you can feel it, you can taste it. Yeah, you can smell it.
Okay, so this is us professionals would call it cake donut.
Wow, so you don't even, yeah, that's impressive. You don't even need to taste it to know that that's a cake donut. Right now, out of a potential, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Somehow I have 9 donuts here. You literally are ready 1 for 1.
Yes.
All right. Are you going to take a bite of that, or you want me to take it from you? All right. Now that we're sitting at the chief's desk right now, do you think he's going to complain too much if I set a donut here? We might want to leave these when we go. How do you think he would feel when he comes back?
Surprise!
There's a stack of donuts sitting on your desk, Chief.
Yeah.
So, all right, now I'm gonna give you another one here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So hand is open, and there's number 2. All right. Whenever you're ready. Yes, and we're definitely gonna have to be doing some hand washing after we're done here. Okay. Going for the smell. Going for the taste.
I think it's a glaze.
Wow, look at that. All right, you're 2 for 2.
Awesome.
2 for 2. All right. You're not doing a lot to dispel that myth about cops and donuts, but that's okay. That's okay. This is a scientific test. Okay?
You know, I should have said cops no whiskey. This would have been a lot more fun.
Guys, if you want to see the rest of the 9 Donut Challenge with Chase Guidera of the Celina Police Department, you can go to celinaradio.com/donut challenge and check that out. It's totally worth your time. Chase is an amazingly good sport. He's a fantastic police officer, and we're all very, very blessed in this city to have the leadership of Chief John Cullison and officers like Chase Guidera working and serving in this community. Now, as you know, this last weekend we had the Celina Splash and Blast event. That's the 4th of July deal. And I promised you at the first of the show that I was going to give you some little excerpts from people that I talked to out there. So I'm going to throw those in right here so you can kind of hear how it was. You know, the background noise out there was really, really, really loud because they had live music and that sort of thing, but you'll be able to get the idea. It was a fantastic event, and it's very indicative of the kind of city that we live in, the kind of city that Celina is. So check out some of these little excerpts from the Celina Splash and Blast. Oh my goodness, who is this that just walked up and sat down right here next to me.
I'm Wyatt.
Well, Wyatt, are you having such a good time out here today?
Yes, so
Tell me all about it. Like, what have you done so far?
I've done the water slides over there.
Yeah, and was that fun? Was it like really tall, real high up there, and you slide down real fast?
Yes, so
Yeah, and have you done any food yet?
not yet.
Not yet. Oh my gosh,
But
we're
I've
gonna
done
have to.
Dippin' Dots.
Oh, you've done Dippin' Dots. Well, that counts. I love Dippin' Dots. Do you remember what kind you got?
The cookies and cream.
All right, awesome. Wyatt, thank you so much for stopping by.
You're welcome.
Go have a really good time, okay?
Okay.
All right. Guys, I'm sitting here right now, and guess who walked up? Andy Hopkins. Andy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. I saw that you were sitting here, and I had to come over because I think you'd have most people in town, and I'm like, get me on that radio.
That's right. So tell me, Splash and Blast. It's amazing.
Are you kidding me? Pictures paint 1,000 words, so I won't use 1,000. But this has got to be twice as big as last year. More space, more rides, more vendors. The breeze is nice, so it's not too hot. I'll take credit for that.
I knew you brought something good today, so you brought the better weather.
I brought the breeze, yeah.
All right,
and usually
that's
some
good.
people call it hot air, but let's call it breeze.
That's awesome. So tell me, I bet you probably haven't gone down the slide, but you've probably tried some food.
We did. We had some nachos, and I think there's probably a warm cookie and cold milk in my future right before the fireworks tonight. So, yeah, it's really a special day.
Absolutely. And this has been fantastic. A lot of different people have stopped by, and you probably know Carla Vargas. She's roaming around
for
here.
sure.
And you know that
There's some of my city council mates are here. The
Right.
mayor was here earlier. He actually was in the dunk tank, which is nice. There's probably a lot of people that like to take a shot at dunking the mayor. I volunteered, but it was too late.
Oh, man. And I missed it, too. So, you know.
Right.
But, so are you looking forward to the challenge between the police chief and the mayor? That comes out on the 8th.
Oh yeah, and I'm like my buddy Jim Scano. I'm team both chiefs, and I will donate whichever one wins. So
There you go.
I'm on record for that. I think it's a great idea, and I appreciate what you do.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. We're going to have you on a future episode, and you know we always have fun. So
Let's do it.
You're not nervous
I spent some
about
time
that.
in radio, so I am not scared.
You're not
Let's
afraid
go.
of it. All right, that's
Yeah.
very good. All right, thank you so very much for stopping by, and I look forward to having you on the show very, very soon.
Let's do it. Thanks, man.
Oh my gosh, just as soon as Andy Hopkins walks off, guess who walks up? It's Wendy Wigington. Wendy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm really, really good. It has cooled off a little bit out here.
It has, thank God.
It has gotten a little bit better. So tell me, what do you think? What do you think about it?
I love it. I love seeing all the people of Celina out here having a good time, hanging out with their families here on 4th of July weekend, really just celebrating freedom.
That's right, and it's amazing. Look at this. Can you just look out there right now and see all of these people? This is Celina, Texas.
This is Celina, Texas.
This
It's
is
the
amazing.
best place to be on
It
earth.
is. I am in love. You're in love with it. You know exactly how it is.
Yep.
So tell me about today. Have you done any of the food over there? Because there's all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah, we did crunchies. So we've had our
Crunchies,
egg
okay,
rolls, right?
okay, yeah.
And we were checking out the ice cream for later.
Right.
Outside of that, we really haven't done much else. We grabbed a ranch water earlier, right? So we're trying to, support all the businesses out here and keep them all in cash.
I like it. I like it.
These kinds of events for me are always a great time because I think you get to meet people at their best. They're out
Absolutely.
here with their family. They're having a great time. They're throwing the ball around. I mean, look across there. You can see all these folks out here hanging out with their kids, really just having the time of their life. And to me, that's the best way to measure how we are as a city when people want to come out
Absolutely.
here and do that.
Well, let's just say this. If this wasn't an amazing town
Yep.
doing amazing things, there would be no one here.
No, you'd not be here by ourselves, and how boring would that be?
I would. Well, it'd be a long podcast, but I'm just gonna say that if I'm grading how everything's going in Celina, Texas right now, this is A++.
This is A++. This is great. You know, whether you're out there dunking the mayor into that pool, earlier it was the assistant chief of the fire department, Severson, and it was great to see him getting dunked, and he was even letting the kids go up and push the button even if they didn't hit it. So
okay,
I call that a win.
Did you dunk anyone?
I didn't. I try not to do that. I'm staying neutral. I'm Switzerland.
I would have been happy to throw a ball or two and see if but hey, same thing. I'm neutral. So
right, I'd rather give them money and let them all stay a little bit drier. But I think given the weather out here today, I think this is a great crowd. I think what we're seeing is just like I said, it's just people celebrating life, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited about what we're doing as a town, and the fact that we can keep putting events like this on, and people come out and they just have a great time.
So tell me this: you're excited about this? Are you excited about coming on CelinaRadio.com?
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited.
You know we do something kind of crazy to everybody.
That's all right. I'm prepared. Let's go.
That doesn't scare you away.
Never does. Have you met me?
All
Nothing
right.
scares me.
Okay, I'm going to come up with something even better now.
I love it.
All right.
I'm waiting.
Very good. Wendy, thank you so much for stopping by. And
Thanks for having me.
Look absolutely forward to having you on the show.
Thanks. Have a great evening.
All right, guys, I am here with, guess what, Carla Vargas. And you know Carla Vargas from the Donkey Rescue. And Carla, how are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Awesome. And what do you think about this? What do you think?
Gosh, this is crazy.
Isn't it? Have you ever seen anything like it?
No, I haven't.
So many people.
It's awesome.
Food, vendors, all kinds of stuff. And I hope that next year you'll come out here and maybe bring one of the donkeys.
Yeah.
What do you think? Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be awesome. Marilyn and Frank Sinatra would love to be there.
They would have
Superstar.
lines going all the way down the side there. There'd be a million people waiting to see them. So tell me this. Are you excited about the video coming out on the 8th?
I can't wait.
Isn't it going to be awesome? That's
Yes.
the police chief and the mayor. So right now you don't know who won.
No.
So if you had to guess right now, if you had to just take a guess, give us an early guess. Who do you think won?
Oh, ouch. That's a tough question.
You got to pick a team. Which team? Who are you going to pick?
I'll say the mayor.
You think the mayor won?
Yes.
Well, the mayor is supposedly a good fisherman, so that could be the case. But all right, Carla, I'm going to let you run around here and go find you some food. They've got they've got some margaritas that you can actually wear around your neck
No
over there.
way.
They do. So I'm gonna head over there in just a second, see if I can find one. But Carla, thank you for stopping by, and we look very forward to the video dropping on the 8th, and of course, we would love to stop by again and see the donkeys.
Yes. Please.
All right,
Okay.
we will do it. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.
Guys, I am here right now with somebody who definitely sets the record for the smallest and youngest person on the show today. Sweetie, what's your name?
Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy? So you're out here at Splash and Blast. Are you having a good time?
Yes.
Tell me what you've done so far. Have you gone on the slides yet?
Yes.
Tell me about it. Was it fun?
Yes.
Like, what did you do?
Like, we bought some things and we got this.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a thing when you get hot.
Oh, wow. That's super nice. And have you had any food out here yet? Maybe ice cream or anything good yet?
I had pizza and snow cones.
Pizza and snow cones?
Yes.
That sounds like my diet. That's what I eat.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is crazy.
Oh, my goodness. All right, sweetie. Well, thank you for coming over here and being on the show. Do you know a lot of people are going to hear you?
Yes.
Is that awesome?
Yes.
All right. Do you love Celina?
Yes.
All right. Your name is Kennedy. Kennedy, you're awesome. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Guys, I'm here with somebody who just walked up, a very, very special person. You tell everybody who you are, sweetheart.
Reese,
Reese, and how do I know you, Reese?
I'm his
That's right. Awesome. So you're here for Splash and Blast today. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay, how many water slides do we see over here? There's like 1, 2,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my gosh, there's so many I can't even count them all. Are you
Yeah.
gonna go out there and get on those water slides?
Yeah, but there's super long lines.
Super long lines. Okay, are you gonna eat some food out here today?
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. So it's a little bit hot, but I think we'll make it all the way through. And you know what happens at the end of the night?
What?
Fireworks, and it's gonna be awesome. Are you excited about that?
Totally.
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by the booth. And if you listen to CelinaRadio.com, you know what you're gonna hear?
What?
You and me talking on the podcast.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk again in a little bit. You can tell me what all you did, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of CelinaRadio.com. But don't forget, we've got some amazing shows coming up. As a matter of fact, next week we've got Cleve and Kim Wycliffe of Swirls Bakery on. And learning all about Swirls Bakery and how they got to where they're at is awesome. What's even more awesome is back in the 70s, there was a game show called The Newlywed Game on TV. And guess what? Yeah, that's what we did with them. We played the Newlywed Game. So if you want to hear some hilarious stuff with Kim and Cleve Wycliffe next week, you're going to want to check that out. After that, we've got Andy Hopkins coming on the show. And I don't know what I'm going to do to Andy just yet, but you can count on the fact that it's going to be awesome. He said he was not afraid at all of whatever I was going to do. So it may be time to pull out girl talk again, or who knows. But it's going to be a good time either way. Andy is a local business owner. He's also Celina City Council and has a former career of sorts. I don't know all about it yet, but he was involved in radio, so it's going to be a fantastic show. Anyways, guys, do me a favor. Tell your friends about this show. Share it on your social media. Subscribe to the newsletter. Like us on Facebook. Do all that fun stuff. And we're just going to continue having fun. But until next time, guys, God bless. And I'll see you on the next show.